Hi family, hi siblings. My name is Master Cabrera. I'm the Master Instructor here at Sidekicks. I'm really excited for all of you to be here, for coming to support your students as they graduate to their new belt. Now, if you're newer to our program, or this is my first time meeting you, the way our program works is the last 12 weeks of curriculum that we've covered with your student has been about getting to this week, what we call testing week, in which your students demonstrate they're leveling up in the 8 skills for their age group. So the way our program works is we structured around 8 skills that help students physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially to level up for their age and developmental purposes. And so the really cool thing is that the way that our program has developed over time, when I first started learning martial arts 9 years ago, when Reagan was still the president, the way it works has always been a program where they were trying to shoehorn an adult program into children. We got really, really good at it, really good about being entertaining and how we taught and all that kind of stuff. The challenge is that martial arts is developed the reputation and has become famous over time for helping kids to develop things like confidence and self-control and coordination and all of these things. And the challenge is that it's just left up to chance that if you do these moves, then miraculously, you're going to have all these other things. And so several decades, 10, 15 years ago, we decided that we wanted to make a change. What we wanted was to make sure that those things that martial arts is the real results that we considered martial arts for, that those things would actually happen. That we would deliver on the things that we would promise and not just leave it up to osmosis, that your kid, just magically by coming to class 2 or 3 times a week for 45 minutes at a time, would suddenly develop into this amazing, awesome person that we think black belts should be. So what we did is instead, we flipped it and we decided, hey, what are the things that we want students in the kindergarten and first grade age group, in the 2nd and 3rd grade age group, in the 3rd and 4th grade age group, what do we want them to gain? What is the result of training in martial arts? And so what we came up with is 8 specific skills of what we want kids to gain, and then what we do is we work our way back to the martial arts. So yesterday I was the head judge for the testing at our Big Bend location last night, and we did 2 drills. One was for focus, and one was for courage. All right, and so the courage one was for the 2nd and 3rd graders. The focus one was for the kindergartners and the 1st graders. Now, on the outside, the drill itself involves us throwing things at kids' heads, which I always love. But in the case of the 2nd and 3rd graders, what it was teaching them was focus, was to pay attention, learn to wait, develop some timing, to be able to develop that eye-hand coordination or that eye-foot coordination so that whenever the object came to them, they could hit it and knock it right out of the air. Now, with the little older kids, for the courage one of the things about self-defense is that you gotta wait until they're trying to hit you before you block it. Challenge is, that can be kind of scary when you're 7 or 8 or 9, right? And waiting until that happens. And a lot of times, the kids will do we call it jokingly, we call it puppy guarding, like in basketball, right? And they'll just stick their arm up there. But if they just stick their arm up there and wait for the block to come to them, you know what happens is if I know that their block is there, why don't I just kick them in the kneecaps, right? So what we're doing is we're learning to wait until something comes to them before they take action and initiate speed of processing and all these kinds of other brain skills that they actually develop over time. And so on the outside, kind of looks like a very similar drill, but our goal, because of the difference in developmental age, is actually a little bit different. So it's a really cool thing that in our martial arts program, we're taking kids and we're specifically developing their mental acuity, their emotional acuity, their social acuity through our martial arts training. So what I want to start with is just say thank you to you guys for investing in your kids, because what we're helping them do is to level up, I don't want to say ahead of other kids, but other kids. When your student came to testing this past week, what you saw was them making that incremental increase and showing us how they're making progress over time. Because sometimes we know that progress might be a leap, sometimes progress is a crawl. And what we want them to know is that over time is that, number one, just getting out there on the mat, that's a win by itself. And then number two is that progress is progress no matter how tiny it is. So let's go ahead and give these guys a big hand because they all passed their test.